views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hola, everyone, and welcome to Open, the one and only show bringing the best of the Bronx, New York, and the world straight to you. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host, Café con Leche, every Friday. Here's what's coming up in today's show. Lady Dissolve will learn about the benefits of shopping small by supporting local businesses in the community when we hear about Buy Local East Harlem's unique Small Business Saturday breakfast and trolley tour. After that, we'll sit down with Loyal Nana founder Amanda Saviñón to discuss the different ways she empowers women through storytelling with her online platform. Then we'll find out about Casita Maria's Celebr-arte series with Garifuna Coalitions' upcoming exhibition, Garifuna Intangible Heritage, a collection celebrating Garifuna culture. Plus, Chef Marivee joins the show to help transform our Thanksgiving leftovers to make the most of every ingredient for a tastier dish. Later on in the show, Bobby C brings us an up-to-date with the latest headlines in the world of sports. And lastly, comedian Glorelys, Mora, joins the show as our Open Artist Spotlight. She'll talk about her comedy career, and then she'll close us out with a stand-up performance. So sit back y prepárate. All this and more is headed your way because now we are officially open. Hey, welcome to Open. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host, Café con Leche, for the next hour. Always inviting you to get social with us online, that is. Tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV or like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, while you're there, don't forget, follow moi on Twitter, FB, Instagram, Insta Stories, LinkedIn, and Snapchat at Rhina Valentin. So as the holiday season kicks into full gear and everyone begins looking for gifts to give their loved ones, let's not forget this weekend is Small Business Saturday, which started in 2010 as a way to encourage people to shop local and bring holiday shopping to small businesses in the neighborhood. Joining us to tell us more about East Harlem's Buy Local Small Business Saturday Breakfast and Trolley Tour, please welcome Buy Local East Harlem Initiative Project Director Michelle Cruz. Hello and welcome.
Hi, Rhina. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for the wonderful work you're doing for our community. And 'tis the season to shop local,
Yes.
right? Or as they say, shop small. Let's talk about this initiative that you created. I mean, I don't know when was the first time you did the actual breakfast and trolley, but it's such an awesome concept. Let's just take everybody on a somewhat of a talk of a tour.
Sure. Just to give you some context and background, the initiative was started by American Express almost 10 years ago. And it's an initiative just to excite the local communities about buying small, sort of an alternative to Black Friday. So to get our communities and residents thinking about purchasing local.
That's Thank you for the background on that. And it's important because everybody gets all caught up on getting those sales and going to the franchises and the big department stores that really, I mean, yes, it's 'tis the season to shop and you know, for consumers to spend, but it's also important for us to remember our communities and the importance of just vitalizing the economy within our local neighborhood.
Absolutely. And what American Express does is they create this thing called Neighborhood Champions. And at Union Settlement's Business Development Center, the Buy Local initiative, we are one of the neighborhood champions. So this is our third year.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you. So I wanted to focus on something that was fun and festive, because what happens is oftentimes for the holiday season, small businesses get overlooked. So there are gems in the neighborhood that there's no awareness about them. And so one of my goals was, when you ask people to change their habits, you have to make it easy and convenient for them. So I wanted to get them excited, give them something to enjoy while they're spending their dollars locally, but give them this festive time during the shopping experience. And so what we did is we're renting a trolley. So we're making sure they're fed in the morning so they have energy, and then we're going to take them on a tour of all the neighborhood gems and also the culture institutions, and hopefully meet some of the business owners, the founders, hear their story, and then spend some money for the holidays.
That's awesome. So basically, as an alternative to Black Friday, instead of dealing with all that drama on Friday, you could just wake up early on Saturday, be fed, right? Because she's feeding everybody breakfast, and then be taken on a tour, which I do want to share with everyone. I'm actually going to be the tour guide, which I'm really
We're so
excited about. I'm excited. You're excited. I'm excited. And part of the reason I'm really super excited about it is because of this trolley. I mean, this trolley looks like a 20s trolley. It looks like it's from San Francisco, except, you know, of course, it's on wheels and it's being driven around the avenues. But let's just share with everyone what that tour looks like.
Sure. So we're going to kick off at Jinjan Cafe, which is a new business owner. We hope to bring a lot of attention and marketing exposure. So we want to try to get as many businesses highlighted on this day as possible. So we're going to kick off on 125th Street and then sort of visit the cultural institutions like La Maqueta. There's a recently renovated La Placita. So we're going to shop some small businesses in there. Then we're going to go down, visit the Graffiti Hall of Fame. There are a couple of institutions along 116th Street, the commercial corridor. Puerto Rican, Mexican, there's a whole gamut of businesses. Then we're going to go a little south to El Museo de Barrio and hear a little bit about what's going on, their programming during the holidays, and perhaps their Three Kings event. And then we're going to come back uptown north to some other local businesses to support and end the day.
That's awesome. So it's not only shopping local, it's being with community, and it's also exploring the community and the history of the community.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
And so that's one of the things also, it's part of nurturing community, getting our residents and community together to support local, but also keeping the dollars in the community, circulates the community more, creates jobs, and creates that fabric and that passion of your culture that's currently located in East Harlem. You get to keep that thriving and alive. And so the dollars as well, but nurturing community is equally as important.
Absolutely. And also, you know, here's to getting to know your neighbors, right? Because
absolutely.
there's something different about shopping online. And, you know, we all like to shop online because it's convenient, but it's different when you're with someone that you've been working with or buying from regularly. There's this familiarization in knowing what you like, what you don't like, and if it's not there, you can have it ordered, and it just creates a whole nother layer of relations.
Absolutely. And so we understand that too. So another thing that we've done is created guides, holiday guides that we've distributed. It's online as well as hard copies of where the deals are, how to get to the locations, and all the activities, the seasonal activities happening from now to the end of the year, so that we make it nice and easy for you to.
So altogether, how many stores are we visiting on Small Business Saturday?
We're visiting 6, but there are a lot more on the list.
On the list, on the guide.
You can go absolutely on your own on a walking tour after that same day or during the holiday season.
All right, and so what do you want to leave people with in the importance? Once again, I think we've discussed everything and we've covered every aspect of Small Business Saturdays, but for this particular event on Saturday.
We want everyone to come, to join us, to come with a happy heart, some dollars in their pocket, whether it's cash or credit card, to support local, and just to share a happy holiday season with the community, a festive event that we hope that will last. We don't want it to just be a one-day thing. We want Shop Small to continue on every day of the year.
Right, so it's there to spark the interest of understanding the importance of just giving back to your immediate community.
Absolutely.
All right,
absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. Yay. All right, you guys, once again, East Harlem's Buy Local Small Business Saturday Breakfast and Trolley Tour is taking place on Saturday, November 30th at Jinjan Cafe, which is located at 85 East 125th Street. The tour is taking place from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And if you're interested in participating, be sure to visit eastharlemalliance.org. Okay, we're taking a quick break, but when we return, we'll hear about a lifestyle brand empowering women. Don't go anywhere. back to Open, everyone. Our next guest is a proud Dominican-American artist and photographer from the Bronx who created Loyal Nana. It's an online lifestyle blog focused on feeding the conscious mind of modern women through storytelling, popular culture, events, and live conversations. And joining us to tell us more, we welcome Loyal Nana founder Amanda Saviñón. Hello.
Hi.
Oye, pero qué nombre, Saviñón.
Right? I think I was French in my past life.
You must
I
have
say
been.
that sometimes, but I should look into it.
Yeah, that's a lovely last name,
It's my
dear.
daddy. Which was actually my grandmother because she didn't take her husband's last name. So I ended up having my grandmother's last name.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of names, let's talk about this title, Loyal Nana.
Yeah, so Loyal Nana came from, I mean, I've always growing up known the name Nana to be like a grandmother or a best friend or, you know, a nickname for like a babysitter or, you know, just maybe someone loyal or that you've known for a while. So I wanted to create a lifestyle brand that people can go to for encouragement and, you know, no judgment, and to just learn more about life. And that came about as Loyal Nana.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because it kind of rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of cute and it's kind of like almost like an oxymoron, right? Because a Nana would automatically be loyal, so why would we name it a Loyal Nana, right? It's like, oh, do I have to question the Nana? No, it's all good.
No, but you're right. That's a good way to put it. A lot of people have also brought up the female genitalia with it, and it is a woman brand, so it also ties in with that, you know, Nana. So, you know, so ultimately a woman empowering brand for encouragement, judgment-free zone.
Judgment-free zone, that's very important. And it's
Yeah.
lovely that you're operating with that mindset, right? Because you come from the commercial world. And I don't, you know to what extent that plays a role in the design of your brand.
Oh my
But let's
gosh.
talk a little bit about that.
Everything, like what I've done in my career so far. I went to Lehman College.
Oh,
and,
you're at your alma mater. Welcome home.
I got my bachelor in fine arts from here, and then I went on to in photography, and then I went on to continue that, and I went to Vogue, Refinery 29, GQ, Teen Vogue, and all of these magazines, and I was doing photo work, so photo producing, photo research, planning photo shoots, managing photo budgets, everything but photographing. Which was crazy for me to learn that there was so many aspects and lines for photography, but we can talk about that later.
No, but I think it's important what you just shared, though, right? Because
Yeah.
a lot of people go into achieving their goals and fulfilling their dreams just with the vision of the dream, and they don't realize that there's a business aspect to fulfilling that dream.
That's right. And when you're interested in art, a lot of what you get back from your family and friends is, well, how are you going to make money off of that?
Right.
Y cómo te va a entrar el dinero? And how are you going to, you know, get jobs that people always need nurses, they need lawyers, they need doctors, like get into something that's where that comes from.
Right.
The belief that like if you're not taking a photo and someone doesn't give you money for it, you can't make it in art, and that goes for all the mediums. So that was interesting for me to see, which did help me push forward, right? But then the content we were covering, I didn't feel necessarily represented by, and so I assumed that I had friends and families who also probably felt the same way, you know, kind of unrepresented by a lot of the content that's on, you know, Vogue and even in commercials or in any of these other big Condé Nast and Hearst companies. I'm just saying Vogue because I was there, but
No,
you
I
know.
get it, right? Because it's their interpretation of it. It's not necessarily us making the decision in there.
That's right. It's
And
like, hey,
that's-
this is what matters. This is the skincare that matters. This
Right.
is the fashion that matters. This is the designer that matters. This is the artist that matters. Let's like put it into a book and push it out there as things that matter. And then I was in there and I'm like, none of this matters to me.
Right.
So then I was like, maybe what if I start my own thing where, you know, I can start talking about the things that, you know, that do matter, that we don't talk about, while using the things that we do care about, like stories, interviews, popular culture, memes, videos, you know, using the things that we're paying attention to, but then putting a spin to it.
Right, because we live in this age, right, with the youngins, right? Even though I always say it, I say it on air every time, and I don't care if you guys get tired of hearing me say I live in denial. And so, but, and I say that because it's so hard to keep up. And right when I start to learn something, it shifts. And so the mind, it's like moving so rapidly. I'm like, oh my gosh, this next generation was born with like microchips in their heads. And so I know that you had the distinct honor of having an interview, right? I love the term that you use as well. Interview,
Yes.
not interview.
That's right.
With Judge Sonia Sotomayor
Yes, from the Bronx,
from the Bronx.
like us.
Yes, and so I can only imagine what that must have been like for you, right? Because, I mean, yes, it was about her book, but you actually had an interview with her. And the fact that it's coming from a BX, representing BX, it has a different tone, and it also has a different voice. Because there's the authenticity coming behind the interest in the story.
Man, you just get it. Like, can we just walk around together all day?
Oh my gosh, yay! New
Yes.
bestie, yay!
That's exactly right. I'm like, I want to interview her from a perspective of a woman who's also from the Bronx, just to see like what were you thinking in your head as you were growing up in the Bronx at at my age, or like when you went to college afterwards, and what were you actually thinking? How did you overcome some of the things you were going through? And like, so you live in the projects and you had diabetes growing up, and now you're spreading your story to children in a way that they can understand it. But like, what were you actually feeling at that time, and like, who are you now, and how do those things affect you? And I was like, there's only questions that I like, that we can ask her as Latinas from the Bronx, or just as inner city young people.
Right, but it also requires your interest in reading her book, because that's where you're going to gain the insight. And I think it's lovely that you got to interview her about it. Interview her, let me correct also.
Yes.
So they're wrapping me up, and you and I could just sit here. I know, but we got to talk really quick about all of the aspects of your blog before we go, because I want them to know that it's a nice trip into your world of food, of everything that's relatable to, I guess, the Latinx community.
Yeah.
And abroad.
Yeah, and to people in general. Like with Loyal Nana, I focus on, telling stories mainly. And every month we have a different topic. So we'll do like sex, money, food, openness, gratitude. And then for the month we'll cover content on it, from interviews with people to events to stories to submissions and so on. And it's just bringing attention to the things that we really need every day in order to like stay okay every day, all day. So then, I was reading this quote on my way here that said, gratitude turns what we have into enough. And I think that once we feel good within ourselves, then we can go out and then, do whatever it is that we want to do. And I hope to continue spreading that through Loyal Nana.
I love it. And thank you for bringing it here to our viewers. And all I want to say is, here's to looking in the mirror. Ha ha. Yeah, I told you, new bestie.
Yes.
New bestie in the house, Loyal Nana. Woo! All right, you guys, please make sure to check out the latest blogs that by going to loyalnana.com, and you can also follow on Instagram at loyalnana.co. All right, we're taking a quick break, but when we return, we'll hear about an upcoming exhibition celebrating Garifuna culture. Don't go anywhere.
Praise the Lord. I'm Evangelist Barbara Mayo. I have a program called The Great God. I come on every Saturday at 3:30, channel 70 and 36 on Fios. You need to catch me because it's a program to encourage, to lift up, and if you don't know anybody that haven't heard about the program, tell them about it. They'll be encouraged, for God is good. God bless you.
Bye, Janet. It's nice seeing you again. You a good girl. Just let me know what I can do to help.
Well, to help me, she'd have to help every day. Every hour, every ouch, every time my wife calls for help. I mean, maybe she could help me make her lunch. But the crust, all the crust has to be cut off the corners. She could help me run to the doctor for the 5th time this week. Help me with the specialist and the second opinions and the painful paperwork about paperwork. Help me deal with how hard it is seeing my wife's name on so much paperwork. But this is on me. I'm the only one who can do this, like this, for her. Besides,
take care.
We will. Janet doesn't like her cooking anyway.
Find support for your strength. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community.
Hey, welcome back to Open, everyone. Always inviting you to get social with us. That's right. Tweet us at BronxNet TV, and while you're there, tweet me too at Rhina Valentin. So as part of Casita Maria's South Bronx Art and Culture Series, Celebr-arte, together with the Garifuna Coalition USA, Inc., a presentation titled Garifuna Intangible Heritage is a 2-artist exhibition celebrating the cultural expression of the Garifuna people of Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines. Oh, and the United States. We can't leave that out. So joining us to tell us more, we welcome Casita Maria, Director of Creative Arts Programs, Gail Heidel, and Garifuna Coalition USA, Inc. Executive Director, Jose Avila. Hello and welcome.
Hi, Rhina. Thanks for having us.
Oh, welcome back. We love all the programming that Casita Maria is doing. I mean, it's amazing. And so
Thank you.
this particular one, Celebr-arte, is this series a winter series?
It is a winter series. It's going to be launching next Thursday, December 5th. We're going to have a celebration and artist talk from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at Casita Maria. And what's really exciting is the artists are flying in from Belize as well as from the Carolinas. So Pen Cayetano is one of the artists, and then he's from Belize, and then Isidra Sabio is from the Carolinas. Both of them are self-taught as well, which will be really exciting for the young people at Casita to see what self-taught artists can do.
So how do you decide, and what does Celebr-arte encompass when you make these choices of artists?
Well, Celebr-arte is our mission for our exhibition and public programming. So it's celebrate yourself through the arts. So that's what we want people to do when they come to Casita Maria, is be in celebration. We want to see themselves reflected in the artwork, and especially for the young people, we're hoping that this will help build self-confidence and self-esteem, and translate into scholarship for them.
No,
go ahead.
no, because I want to talk to Jose over here, who has really, really done a fine job committing and dedicating himself to the Garifuna Coalition. I mean, we've been covering it for so many years now, and so this partnership, I know you've done work already on numerous occasions with Casita Maria, but just curious to know the level of involvement you've had in this particular curation.
Thank you once again, Rhina. This is a great opportunity. This is actually a first for the Garifuna community, because everything that we've done previously has been revolved around the performing arts. This is the first time that we're doing a visual arts presentation. And thanks to Gail and Casita Maria, we will have the pleasure of having Pen Cayetano, who's coming in from Belize, and Isidra Sabio, who's coming from North Carolina. It's two self-taught artists. And it's really interesting how this came about, the partnership we were talking backstage. Actually, 2 years ago, the Garifuna Coalition sponsored Isidra Sabio an exhibit at a very small place right here in the Bronx. And then Gail invited me to become part of the advisory committee for a project that they were doing. And I mentioned that exhibit. And Gail happened to remember. She said, you know what, eventually I'd like to talk to you. And that was the beginning of the conversation. And a year ago was when she actually confirmed that we were going to do it. And here we are a week away.
So this has been a year in the making.
It has, yeah. And I mean, it's been a really wonderful partnership where even, we curated what paintings were going to be in the show together, and had multiple meetings at Casita. So there's definitely been a lot of dialogue, between us as well as the artists.
That's lovely. And so I just wanted to share with everyone a little background on the Garifuna culture, right? I find it to be amazing and very admirable that within the Garifuna culture, there's 3 languages spoken. I mean, obviously English if they're here, and Spanish, but there's also the language of Garifuna. And the reason I think it's so important that we share with our viewers is because it's it's a very old language. It's a language that's its origins is from the Arawak, right? And unfortunately, throughout time, that language has been watered down and has been diluted to the point that it takes a village to be able to pass it forward. And so, how is it that people are raised within the traditions of Garifuna, even if they're here in the United States?
Rhina, I'll say it the way I said when I introduce myself, is Witi Binafi, buen dia, good morning. And I usually explain the fact that I greeted you with the native language of my ancestors, going back to the Arawaks, to the islands of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, followed by the language that we had to adapt when we were forcibly deported and ended up in Central America, specifically Honduras, where I was born, and English, which I had to learn when I migrated to the United States of America. People are amazed that after 222 years of being forcibly exiled from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Garifuna language continues. And what's fascinating is the fact that Garifuna is the original language of the indigenous, the Arawaks, the Caribs, and the Taínos. and we are the only ones keeping it alive after 322 years. And it continues even right here in New York City, the Bronx, which is actually the exciting part about doing this project. Because Rhina, the way I describe it, today, the epicenter of the Garifuna arts and culture is right here in New York, specifically right here in the Bronx.
I know, I love that. I love that. That excites me so much. And what excites me even more is that now it's going to be conveyed through this imagery and this visual arts that basically is like taking a trip back in time from what I've seen. And I think we're going to be showing some of them as we're speaking. So before we go, what would you like people to know with regards to the opening reception? Because I understand you have some dance classes as well.
Yeah, so the opening reception, as I mentioned, is next Thursday at 5:30. DJ De La Ceiba will be DJing. There'll also be food and drink. And then we're going to be starting a dance class with Luz Solis, and that will be starting December 11th at Casita from 6 to 8 p.m. And then the class will finish up on February 28th with a culminating ceremony so that if you're in the dance class, you're going to be performing for the young people at Casita as well as the community members, as well as Wabafu Garifuna Dance Theater. And we also have a book club on Wednesday nights, so you can go to dance or you can go to book club.
Cool.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
And I just want to thank you, Jose, for being a stand for your community.
It is a pleasure. It is an honor, and we got to do it for the next generations.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for bringing it here to our viewers. You guys, once again, Garifuna Intangible Heritage opening reception and artist talk will take place Thursday, December 5th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at Casita Maria Center for the Arts and Education located at 929 Simpson Street. And for more information, visit casitamaria.org. We have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll be cooking things up with Chef Marivee. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Open, everyone. So Thanksgiving is over. And like many, the refrigerator is filled with tons of food. And so our next guest is a master chef in her own right, originally from the South Bronx, inspired by her community. And she's also the personal chef for American rapper Talib Kweli. And well, she's going to help us turn our Thanksgiving leftovers into a tastier dish. Everyone, please welcome Chef Marivee. Hello.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
We are excited to have you. And well, you know, what I'm noticing off the bat here is we've got a lot of healthy dishes.
We do. It actually comes off, as you said, Thanksgiving leftovers. You have your sweet potato, your collard greens, and I notice what people are doing, the transition of pescatarian or vegetarian. So I have a little bit of salmon here.
All right. So what exactly are you going to recommend here, right? So you just introduced, we've got collard greens. This is
your sweet potato.
Sweet potato. I don't know if they could see that. Sweet potato.
Sweet potato.
And then
you got your, this here is actually what it's going to turn out to. So
okay.
You have your collard greens, like I said, your salmon, your sweet potato. I was going to bring over the cranberry sauce, but we left that. It was short period.
All right, so what are we going to do?
So here today we're going to do a sweet potato roti, and actually it takes 2 ingredients, sweet potato and flour. So all you have to do is mix these 2 ingredients, like I said, sweet potato and roti. Mix that up, and it's going to be a consistency just like this you see here. You want to break that up into 4 pieces or however you like. Put it into a ball, roll it out. Put that right on a pan. You're going to see it bubble up. Once you see that bubble up, you'll pull it right off. You start on to your next ingredients.
Oh my, so it ends up turning out looking like bread.
Yeah, basically, it's a flatbread.
It's a flatbread, but it's healthy.
It's healthy because you have your sweet potato, so you don't, again, you want to make sure you're taking your Thanksgiving leftovers and making it into that nice, innovative dish. So here we have, again, that roti.
Yes, and trust me, it makes a difference because you don't want to eat the same looking thing, right? So I know you have some other ideas here,
yes.
right? So what else do you have?
So with the jerk salmon, you'll usually for Thanksgiving have your whole piece of jerk salmon. So the next day I would like to make what we call salmon cakes.
Salmon cakes. Wow. So how do you do that? I want to show that to. Let me show that to everybody. So these are the salmon cakes she's talking about.
So what I do there is I'll just shred up the salmon. Again, this piece here will be done essentially because you're making it for Thanksgiving. And then you're just shredding it up. You'll add in either your quail egg and a little bit of flour just for binding. Again, you want to put that on a nice hot plate, which I have here. Put this over. This is good to go.
And then this is, so this is this mixed with this.
Yes.
These are quail eggs.
Quail eggs, yes.
And so then, but first you cook this, right?
Yes, that's going to be cooked because you're already getting your Thanksgiving leftovers.
Right,
so
it would already be cooked,
it's
right?
already
Right.
cooked.
So it's just a matter of mixing it with that, making it into a ball, putting it here.
Putting it on a flat pan or your flat sheet.
And then this is what?
And that's what it's going to
The
come out
results. All right, so then I see you have my favorite over here, which is collard greens.
Yes, yes, and you definitely have to have your neck bone in there, as my mother would say.
Your neck bone.
Yes, your neck bone have to be in your collard greens. So again, I picked the collard greens because it's a green. I do not eat any dish of mine or prepare a dish without a green, essentially. So all we're going to do here is actually make, you want to do a sandwich, you can make tacos essentially with this. And all we're going to do is, again, just add all the ingredients. And this is great for lunch for the kids, to go to school, to go, or for yourself going back to work. It's a nice, easy grab. Also, it can be made for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Right.
Because, again, you have your quail eggs, you have your salmon, so you have enough protein and vitamins to last you throughout the day, which, again, I am huge on. So you want to place, again, your salmon. You could top that off with some collard greens. My layer of sauce would usually be my cranberry sauce.
Right.
Or for breakfast, which is amazing, which I'll do here with the asparagus, I'll have some asparagus and put some hollandaise sauce on there for breakfast. So you can have it many different ways.
And to top it off, it's all healthy.
Yes, to top it off, it's healthy. And again, you want to crack your quail eggs. You can actually do this. I love this thing here, guys. This is a flat pan. It is hot, so we want to be careful. But I can actually cook everything here simple. I can actually crack this little quail egg, which I'm about to do. Show you guys. We're going to get it done right here.
Any particular reason why a quail egg?
They're just small, cute, and has more vitamins for me in particular.
Okay, and just share with everyone why it's so important for you to have greens on your dish, because I think it's important that everybody understand that it is important to have it on your dish as well.
Well, again, I'm big with nutrition itself, and I have to have greens because you have your nutrition in there. You have your vitamin B, your vitamin A, your calcium. Everyone likes to take pills and your vitamins through pills, but if you honestly get it through your food, you're getting the best nutrition you can actually possibly get. It's through your food. All the diseases start off with what you're putting in your body. And again, feed your brain. Why are we feeding our brain omega-3s? Again, you have your omega-3s, you have your vitamin A, you have your vitamin B, your salmon. Come on, salmon is huge. You definitely want to put that in your body. This egg is basically done, and it's just that. Put that there.
The beauty is that I can eat this dish, right? Because I don't eat red meat either. So
you can eat this dish. Again, pescatarians, vegan people are being vegan. Pescatarians are transitioning to this, so this is perfect for those people. And again, it's easy, it's fast, it's quick, easy peasy, beautiful cover girl is what I like to say.
Love it. Cover girl with the nutrients in mind.
With nutrients
That's
in there.
it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much for bringing it here
thank you.
and showing it to us. Should I taste it?
You should.
All right,
taste
let me
it.
taste it. I don't know how I'm going to do that though. All right,
We
we'll put it
can-
on this plate. I always
yes.
like tasting the final outcome because
And
this,
again,
it just looks so delicious. I have to try it. I should have eaten it on this side where it's hot. This is really good. This is really, really good.
Thank you. Thank you.
All nutritional, too.
Yes, and then again, you have a little bit of spice because remember the salmon was a jerk salmon for the holidays. A lot of people like to create different dishes. So
Enhance the flavor.
Yeah, enhance the flavor. So the jerk salmon with the collard greens. Don't forget your cranberry sauce.
Right.
Perfect topping.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
bringing it
you.
here with our
Thank
viewers. Once again, you guys, for more on Chef Marivee and her food, you can check her out by visiting her on Instagram at Chef Marivee. That's Marivee. Stay tuned because Bobby C's Weekly Sports Roundup is coming up next.
Bring it. Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home. Okay. Bye, guys. You guys need a ride?
Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one? I gotta go eat, man. Sorry. I'll see you later.
We built a media network for you.
BronxNet TV.
Come learn in your new state-of-the-art studios at Lehman College.
At Mercy College.
And coming soon to the South Bronx in the Hub.
Inspire with your stories, culture, history.
Your Bronx on BronxNet.
Engage with us.
Connect with us at your channels and at BronxNet.tv.
Learn, engage, inspire. BronxNet TV.
From the Bronx
to the world.
BronxNet.
Happy Thanksgiving weekend, fam. Recently on the show, I spent a short C-list telling our audience at home to race to the movie theaters to go see Ford vs. Ferrari. It got me thinking about my top 10 sports movies of all time. So here's my list, all of which you can watch this holiday weekend when you're chilling, not watching football, of course, or shoving your face with leftover turkey. I digress. Coming in at number 10, Raging Bull. Raging Bull, which is technically about sports, but is really about brutality and cruelty and agony, is an epic of toxic masculinity and all that it destroys, including the self. That's deep, man. The boxing scenes look nothing like actual boxing, but any boxer will tell you that they feel like that when they're boxing. The disorientation, the punishment, the blood. Robert De Niro's performance won him still his only Best Actor Oscar, a Martin Scorsese classic. It had to make my list. Narrowing this field to 10 was actually pretty difficult, Rhina. At number 9, I didn't hear no bell. I didn't hear no bell. Rocky. All of the Rocky movies are outstanding, and that includes the latest chapters with the films The Creed. It is the ultimate underdog story. It's about a boxer from Philly getting a shot at the title. With the help of his trainer, Mickey, his wife, Adrian, his brother-in-law, Paulie, and his friends, he wins the title and becomes one of the greatest fighters of all time, defeating the greats, Apollo Creed, Clubber Lang, Ivan Drago, and Tommy Gunn, whom he trained and loved like a son. And Mason Dixon, Rocky Balboa, comes from nothing to become one of the greatest, living up to the nickname, the Italian Stallion. From boxing to baseball, number 8 on my list of my top 10 sports movies goes to Major League, a Major League comedy. Charlie Sheen plays Ricky Vaughn, a pitcher on the Cleveland Indians, but everybody calls him Wild Thing. Ricky Vaughn starts out in jail before he gets to play for the Indians. Could easily be a true Hollywood story for Sheen. JK. A showgirl who wants to move the team to a different area is the plot twist, so in order for that to happen, there has to be poor attendance during games. So she fields the worst players that the league can offer, but they end up winning the division title anyway. This movie will always be one of the funniest sports movies of all time, well deserving on this list. Keeping it in the same realm, The Sandlot takes the 7th spot. The Sandlot is about a bunch of kids who just love to play baseball and who love to just hang out with each other. When one of them is in trouble, the whole group rallies together to help him. The movie is full of problems that the gang has to deal with, such as having to get an autographed Babe Ruth baseball that Smalls hit over the fence, where the Beast lives, and Benny the Jet Rodriguez ends up, getting chased by the Beast. You're killing me, Smalls. We move to football-themed movies, of course. Number 6, how about another underdog story? Rudy. Sean Astin plays Rudy Rudiger, who grows up in a poor Irish home and dreams of going to the University of Notre Dame. Rudy does not catch a break and has to work hard every day of his life. All he really has is his best friend, and he dies working in the plant. After being rejected 3 times, he finally gets accepted into the University of Notre Dame. Rudy gets ready for his football tryouts and ends up making it as a walk-on. He does not play or suit up for a single game until the last game of his senior year. On his one and only play, Rudy sacks the Georgia Tech quarterback and gets carried off the field. Sorry, spoiler. Best part of the movie, it's based on a true story. Our next film isn't, but it's a goodie nonetheless. Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes are unlikely partners scamming players on the Venice Beach courts in basketball. Indeed, White Man Can't Jump's title conveys all that's edgy and playful about the film, although underneath is a pretty sober tale of 2 men who need to grow up. In the case of Snipes' Sydney, that means becoming a responsible father and husband. As for Harrelson's Billy, maturity comes in the form of committing to his Jeopardy-obsessed girlfriend, Gloria. White Man Can't Jump is wise about the insecurity beneath the trash talk. For these guys, ruling the court is far easier than navigating real life's financial and emotional hurdles. A must-see this holiday weekend if you've never watched it before. Number 4 on my list of my top 10 sports movies, Miracle. Going back to the real-life stuff here, this movie was based on possibly the greatest victory in sports history. The American hockey team faced off against the Soviet Union and defeated them 4-3 at the 1980 Winter Olympics. Kurt Russell portrayed head coach Herb Brooks beautifully. He was amazing throughout the movie. It was a great movie based on one of the greatest American victories, really, of all time. And then there were 3, the top 3. Even though this movie is pretty weird due to the fact that a voice tells Ray Kinsella, played by Kevin Costner, to build a baseball field by saying if you build it, he will come. And how baseball players such as Joe Jackson just come out of a cornfield to play baseball. It really is a really great movie about a man who will do anything to have one last catch with his old man, even though he doesn't know that will be the outcome of the film. Field of Dreams was nominated for Best Picture. It makes the grade still after all of these years. The Natural, in my book, though, is the best baseball movie of all of them. That's why I have it second overall. The Natural's most lasting contribution to popular culture is Randy Newman's inspirational score, quickly becoming the go-to music for any walk-off home run. As for the movie, it was an ode to the sacred beauty of baseball. Robert Redford plays Roy Hobbs, a nearly divine being with a talent for hitting who is looking for a shot after a dark past. Will he find his redemption? Will he get the girl? Barry Levinson made some movie, The Natural. Just like that, we raced through 9 movies, foreshadowing and pun intended. Hard to leave off The Longest Yard, Dodgeball, Talladega Nights, The Karate Kid, 8 Men Out, Happy Gilmore, The Color of Money, The Bad News Bears, Rush, Caddyshack, Hoosiers, Love and Basketball, Moneyball, He Got Game, Chariots of Fire, Slapshot, A League of Their Own, Ali, Pride of the Yankees, Bull Durham, For Love of the Game, The Fast and Furious saga, and even Hoop Dreams, among many, many other films. But there can only be one. And for the longest, for me at least, it was Steve McQueen's not as well received here in the U.S., Le Mans. It has since been replaced by a movie about the same location, while the other 9 on this list can be streamed. This one, at least for the time being, when not being pirated online, you have to go to the movies to see this weekend, and that's Ford vs. Ferrari, my top movie on my list of top 10 sports movies of all time. Yes, I do think it will win Best Picture for 2019. It's that good. Ford vs. Ferrari, based on real-life entertainment, from James Mangold is gorgeous to look at. Go see it in IMAX. You might wish you could climb right inside the cockpit of those cars. And while there's plenty of fun to be had, watching cars move really fast on a small screen, 31 million NASCAR viewers can attest to that, right? Man, I love car racing. Ford versus Ferrari, the film has it all. Matt Damon plays plain-spoken automotive designer and entrepreneur and one-time race car driver Carroll Shelby. Shelby takes on a seemingly impossible challenge, helping the Ford Motor Company develop a race car that will rival those built by the European master, Enzo Ferrari. The goal is to win at the grueling 24-hour race known as Le Mans. Shelby enlists the best driver and racing engineer that he knows, the English-born, Los Angeles-based Ken Miles, played by Christian Bale. What happens next is known to racing enthusiasts, at least, but should be left as a surprise to everyone else. The movie works as an entertainment for dozens of reasons, not least of which are the performances. They took the American dream for a ride. This one now has raced into my heart and takes the checkered flag in this speedy top 10 list. I'm Bobby C. Enjoy the holiday weekend. Stay tuned. More Open back after this.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years and I got my third child who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Welcome back to Open. Our last guest, well, she self-identifies as Black Latinx Dominicana. Oíste? That's right. She's a New York-based comedian, writer, and producer from Harlem who recently relaunched her career in comedy. She's known for her quick wit and authenticity. She also has a production company, Pretty Funny Friends, and well, she created that to have an impact within the comedy scene. And she's also the co-writer of Latino Card Revoked, which is the sister brand to Black Card Revoked, a humorous game exploring cultural and historical Latinx moments. That's her whole story. We don't even need to interview her.
Right.
No, please welcome Glorelys, Glori Mora.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me again. It's been a year since the last time I was here.
We love having people on annually and or whenever they win a Grammy or
oh yeah, I'll be back for the Grammys, baby. Call me back. I'm down to come back. But yeah.
But no, I mean, this is all great stuff. I mean, I was joking, of course, and I'm joking because I know that's what you do.
Yeah, I be telling jokes all the time.
No.
Yeah, all the time, baby. Yeah, right now.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it's been I feel like coming back, I was like, wow, like I've done a lot in a year.
Right.
And a lot of people, even the community, have noticed like how hard and dedicated I am to the craft. So it's been exciting to see how I've grown as a person and also like as a comedian in a year. I feel like when I came in, I think I'm always gonna be happy and passionate about comedy, but I was like, yeah, anything is possible. But I've been putting in a lot of work, and it takes a lot of work to even build the set that I've been building this last year. So
and we're going to get a taste of that set a little later. However, let's talk about your subjects. Let's talk about what you choose to have as topics and why you've chosen them, right? I mean, I read in your bio that nepotism is one of them. Nepotism, astrology is another one. And I'm like, okay, what does one have to do with the other? Random, but okay, yeah. I'm really curious to know.
I mean, I am a Gemini. I take pride in that. I'm crazy when I need to be, you know, and I feel like when I was younger, finding astrology was something that helped me to kind of figure out like what I was doing in life. So like, obviously I don't take it verbatim, but it's like, it's funny to explore about it. So I have this I just came off of doing like a bunch of Mercury retrograde jokes because we were just experiencing that for 3 weeks. Everybody's life was in shambles, more than usual.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you more than usual.
Yeah, because it's always in shambles, but it was even more in shambles.
Yes.
So I did a lot of Mercury retrograde jokes, and I was talking about, like, you cannot tell me I'm not a Gemini. We're not a floating planet, so I can be whatever I want to be, right? And nepotism, I worked in advertising for about 8 years before I was a comedian. And I just dealt with a lot of, like, weird cultural things that happened. And I learned that, you know, a lot of the, you know, the white people, you know, advertising is a very traditionally white industry. You know, we come from the Mad Men era, you know, all that stuff. And they usually hire people within their own community. So, like, dealing with those kind of cultural issues impacted my comedy. 'Cause I was just so upset. I was like, I need to talk about this to somebody.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
so you're using that poor audience as therapy?
Absolutely, they love it. I'm like, yo, Caucasians be wild, and they're like, oh my God. I was like, I'm talking about you. But look, as long as it keeps me booked and busy.
Oh my gosh,
so, yeah.
I was just, we have to share with the audience what you shared with me before we even got on camera. And that's that whole story of how you were like really going on about the Mercury retrograde and how human resources wrote you up.
Well, okay, first of all, right, let me clear that up.
That's hilarious.
Well, I was one of the lead managers in my job, and one of my direct reports was kind of acting up, and I blamed it. I was just trying to, like, make, you know, make everyone at ease. I was like, everyone, Mercury's in retrograde, you know, and we had that kind of culture where we would talk about that. Right. But my boss wrote an entire email and was like, you know, you can't bring up Mercury retrograde at work anymore, and CC'd the HR, the SVP of HR, and the SVP of our whole, like, department. And it was really embarrassing. So I told him to, like, I told him some inappropriate things, and then I quit my job.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hence there's your material.
Yeah, I mean, some people get it, some people don't. I'm just having fun with it, you know, especially there are not a lot of Dominican comedians, a lot of Black women in comedy, POC, and, like, we need more diverse stories in there. So I'm coming in with Mercury retrograde and my drama.
Well, we're looking forward to hearing about your drama. And so, but before we go, I just want to share with everyone this card game that you were a contributing writer, right? You're a co-writer of this card game. Like, just share that with everyone. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, so Black Card Revoked is a really big game within the Black community. It came out, I want to say maybe like 2-3 years ago, and it's just poking fun at things like, you know, things that you should know if you're from the culture, right? So Latino card revoked, we were just talking about, like, the language and how important it is to preserve it. And it's just like, should you get your card revoked if you don't know a certain part of history, if you don't know the indigenous people in our Latino community? So we kind of made a fun game about it. And, you know, it's a game to have conversation with family, but it was one of my first writing projects as a comedian, so I put a lot of, like, funny things in there. And important things, like, what's Celia Cruz's real name? What's the best Selena song? And just a bunch of, like, what's the best song about Maria? Like, every like, Latino culture has a song about Maria. I know mine is Oro Solido, Maria Se Fue. But yeah, we just talked about really random stuff that you should know if you're from the culture.
Okay, so where can people get these cards? Because I think it's a cool concept.
Yeah, you can buy it at latinocardrevoked.com. So yeah.
Nice. And what are we gonna get a taste of today on our set?
I'm putting my best clean material. I can't say it's, you know, like, I'm putting some clean stuff in there.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, you know, just so we don't get canceled. Right.
Thank you for being considerate, Mama.
Yes.
I appreciate you.
Yes.
All right, you guys are gonna take a quick break, but when we return, Glorelys she's gonna perform one of her stand-up bits that you don't want to miss, even though it's censored. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. It's now time for this week's Open Artist Spotlight. Here now to perform some stand-up in our Open Artist Comedy Corner, because yes, we put baby in the corner. Please welcome Glorelys Mora.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. How are you doing tonight? Well, to this evening. I say tonight all the time because I'll be at the clubs. Y'all doing good? Y'all doing good? I know a lot of us walked into 2019 thinking it was going to be our year. It's not. No. Next year won't be our year either. This is who you're walking into the new decade as. I'm sorry. It's the truth. I went through a breakup this year. I found out my man was ugly. I did. It was too late. He told me he loved me, and I found out he had a very hairy butt. I don't know if I can say that in the Bronx. Nah, he had a hairy butt. He was also a little abusive, but I couldn't get past the hairy butt. That's not my brand. You know, I have a brand to maintain. Thank you. I was trying to change this year. We only have 3 weeks, like 4 weeks left, so it's over for that. But I tried a little bit, you know. I was trying to be a better person. I'm one of them personality kind of girls. Like I date you if you have a little bit of money. Right. But I'm trying to change. I've been on all the dating apps. Y'all are doing it. Thank you. Oh my God. I've been on all the dating apps. I've been on Tinder, Soul Swipe, LinkedIn, Venmo, Cash App. And everybody's broken ugly. And it's a problem. I did go on a second date. This guy from Tinder said, if you're a real one, pull up. And I'm a real New York girl. So I was at JFK like, what's good? Boom. Without really noticing that I didn't really know him like that. So whatever, I'm a Gemini, I talk a lot, like I told you, I talk a lot. I was on the plane like la-da-da-da, Facebook, la-da-da, Twitter, yada-yada, when's your birthday? Because you need to know his sign before, right? It was too late, we was already taking off to Africa, but I had to know what I had to know. And on the flight, he gave me an edible, consensual, and I don't do drugs, that's not my brand. I only do Plan Bs, because, yeah, that's not my brand. The next thing you know, like my stomach started rumbling, all you hear is, Scooby-Doo, pa-pa, because I had salmon too, it was a lot. Y la cosa suena ra. It was so bad. I tried to go to the bathroom to throw up because you don't have a brand to maintain. The next thing you know, doom, 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 boom, I fainted. My wig fell off. I usually wear a wig. He was like, who are you? I was like, mind your business. He gave me that look like I'm about to ghost this girl, right? And I tell people I'm a legendary comedian. That's a joke. I'm really started to believe it. Oh my God. I tell people I'm a legendary comedian. I usually get a lot of silence in the clubs, but now that I'm a legend, I run my content through my mom, Arelis. You know, Dominicans always have to be plugged. She has nothing to do with the joke, but whatever. I run my content through my mom. I'm like, Mami, ¿te recuerda cuando yo fui para Morocco? When I went to Morocco, el hombre, he sucked my toes. That's the clean version. She's like, ¿qué pasó? I'm like, sí. She started crying in Spanish. I was like, sí, mami. Él me hizo cosas. And she was like, tengo una pregunta. I was like, ¿qué pasó? Te lo hizo bien. And that's when I knew my mom was a bougie bleep. Thank you, BronxNet. That's my clean. Thank you. That's my
Glorelys.
Thank you.
Glory Mora, everyone. I love your mom. I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to get to know her. Woo! All right, you guys, once again, for more on Glorelys Mora, please make sure to follow her on Instagram at Glorelys, and that's Glorelys Mora. That is our show today, mi gente. Thanks to all our guests for coming through, and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out the recablecast tonight and 24 hours a day at bronxnet.tv. I'm Rhina Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor. Adios.